Hey guys, this is Christian once again, and I got some comments on the last episode that I did about why I'm still a virgin, and I made the statement that sex before marriage can't be love. So I got some comments, and some of you didn't agree with that and said, you know, what do you mean by that? So I wanted to talk about that because I want to clarify some things. You know, two people that have sex before marriage, you know, it doesn't mean that they don't love each other. You know, they can genuinely be in love and, you know, care for each other. And naturally, when you are in love, you know, you want to express that. And you will have a desire towards that person. Obviously, there are times when, a lot of times, actually, you know, when it's just lust, you know, the other person using the other person for physical pleasure, which is a really, really cheap version of what sex is. But even if you do genuinely love each other and you even get married later, but you have sex before marriage, there will still be negative consequences. And let me explain what I mean. When you wait until you have sex until marriage, you have had a relationship for, well, hopefully quite a while, and there are things that have been established before that. And this is really the key. Like, there are things that needs to be established in a relationship before you can have such an intimate expression that sex is. You need to have a solid foundation of friendship, trust, and really commitment. And that's why we have marriage, because marriage says that, you know, we're committed to each other and we promise to be with each other for the rest of our lives. And we've made a covenant. Because when the Bible talks about, in Genesis, you know, it talks about the woman becoming and the man becoming one flesh. And if you think about this sex act, that's really what happens. It's two people becoming one, and you're really becoming family with that person. So that's not something that should be taken lightly. And that's why it's so important to build a solid foundation. Because when you are married and you have sex for the first time on the wedding night, then you express all those things that you've established. You express, okay, I'm loyal to you, I'm showing that I'm committed to you and that I love you and trust you and all of those things. But when you have sex before marriage and you haven't made that commitment yet, then sex becomes an expression of something else without all these things. So it becomes a less fulfilling thing, and it becomes a cheap version of what sex is supposed to be like. Because God really, really wants to give us the best. He doesn't want to withhold joy. He wants to give us the ultimate joy and pleasure. And that's why it's so important to wait. So a lot of people, when they get married, they wonder why they're so sexually unfulfilled. But that's because they've made sex into something else without all these things that I talked about before. And there have even been studies, and I think both people, both men and women, lose out because of this. But there have been studies on women in particular that, you know, women release a hormone called oxytocin when they have sex, and it really bonds them together with the male. But when a woman has multiple sex partners, it actually, the level of oxytocin that's being released starts getting lower and lower. So it hinders her ability to bond with the guy. And that's really, really sad, you know. So basically, what you have is a choice. You can either choose sex with all what God wanted it to be, you know, or you can choose a version that is a lesser version of sex. And you can't, you know, eat the cake and still have it. You know, you have a choice here what you want to do. So, yeah, thank you so much for commenting on the video clip and, you know, really helping me and asking questions like that. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me to think and process things and think things through. So I appreciate that, and I'll see you next time.